bring up? First, how do I start this? Oh, great. Do you need this? Hi, everyone. I have to say I am truly honored and I feel so humbled to sit among a panel of great experts. I am learning a lot here as well. Hopefully you are as well. My name is Sophia Chu, and I come from Harvard School of Public Health. And in the last half an hour or so, you have heard of 3 presentations. Professor Chen gave you a very good overview of the environmental issues we're facing in China. And Professor Yang Shidong just mentioned about some technical aspects of possible solutions and the things we need to do. And additionally, Professor Yang Sandel has put our issues in China in a global perspective. So what I'm hoping to do in the next 10 minutes or so is to actually step back with you a little bit to think about some of the things we need to do to get to those questions and some of the solutions. One thing I have heard from the earlier talks is that we need data. We need specific data to actually allow us to make decisions and to come up with specific solutions. There's a lot of things that we know, but there is a lot we don't know. And I think in order to do good environmental studies and to even come up with solutions to combat some of the issues we're facing, we absolutely need to have good data. So what I'm hoping to do is to introduce to you a framework, a potentially benefiting framework of collaboration that I personally have engaged along with my team in Harvard. And I speak on behalf of many of them who are attending the conference, and also I hopefully will also show support of our extended network. And I have to apologize ahead of time. I'm recovering from a cold, so I may cough occasionally, so my apologies. We started a network, how should I put it, a framework of collaboration, really under the larger need of understanding how the built environment is evolving under rapid urbanization in China. Many of you are from China, and if you're not, you probably have heard of many news about cities growing up within a year, and we see rapid construction at very large scale of residential housing, of commercial complexes. What was mentioned earlier is that the developed countries frequently report that the people actually spend about anywhere between 70 to 90% of time indoors. And in China, what was mentioned earlier was the Chinese urban residents actually spend about 80% of time indoors. And therefore, this built environment is critical to our health. And also, with the construction and introduction of new materials, we see the changing indoor environments. And that indoor environment we are constantly experiencing has long-term and short-term implications to our health. When we started pushing for this collaboration, we had 2 preliminary goals. One is to really understand and set a benchmark for indoor environmental quality conditions, so IEQ in urban built environments in China. And then secondly is to really think about how we can actually translate research findings either through laboratory work or actually field study survey into future design and construction. So what we started in our early phase is to bring together leading U.S. research institutions like Harvard School of Public Health and leading Chinese real estate developers such as the Vanke Group and also CP Group. From the research perspective is that, as mentioned earlier, we want to generate useful data. What the usefulness comes from being able to collect data from real setting. Therefore, for us, it was important to actually have the housing stock to look at the conditions in the indoor environment, and collaborating with people who are at the frontier of developing that built environment was very exciting for us. And we were very happy to be able to work with Vanke to actually have the Healthy Building Survey, and you're going to hear a little bit more about the results later on, and also to work with a CP group on health and place initiative. We call it HAPPY project. So with that, we are hoping to do a number of things. We're really hoping to look at the exposure assessment component. What that means is entails the environmental monitoring aspect of our research. We want to know what is the indoor condition like within those built environments. And we also wanted to know what is the concurrent outdoor environment. You have heard about a lot about the outdoor environment, which is frequently reported now by government agencies and also monitored by monitoring groups. But it is really the indoor environment that we actually need to generate a lot of data in order to have good solutions. And also, we're interested in the resident aspect, and what the residential behavior component is sometimes overlooked in some of the survey studies, but we have known that residential behavior actually introduces a lot of pollution, residential behavior has the potential to introduce a lot of pollution in the indoor environment, and therefore we are including survey questionnaires as part of the exposure assessment component of our survey approach. And then we're also interested in translating that exposure assessment component into risk assessment, looking at the health outcomes being tracked or being reported by the residents or larger population that we're surveying, and also looking at cohort studies or looking at tracking population over time to actually look at their health outcome. There are many projects going on, are underway in China right now, and what we are really hoping to do moving forward is to going for the theme of what was mentioned earlier by Professor Sandel about sustainability. We really want to look at how to have a sustainable urban development approach, and we're looking at things such as smart design, disaster preparedness. Disaster preparedness may be something unfamiliar with for some researchers in China. Given the larger climate change, there is a lot of challenge that many of the US cities are facing right now, and we are anticipating similar situations with coastal cities in China, and therefore there's a great interest to actually look at disaster preparedness as part of the study for sustainable urban development. And also, right now, given the existing pollution issue and also forecasting for future pollution challenges, is to look at how to incorporate environmental management in this sustainable design. And additionally, we want to look at the development of healthy communities and how to make the communities welcoming to elderly and being able to actually support a healthy lifestyle, and incorporating the ideas such as fitness, such as the fit design for the local communities. Also, there is the hope to look at green and healthy buildings by understanding the input and output of those built environments using the life cycle analysis, looking basically at what is being introduced to actually create those environments, and then what does that translate into in terms of energy consumption, residential health, and also other parameters of interest. And this gives a holistic approach or overview, basically cradle to grave sort of approach to really understand the entire life cycle, so to speak, of the built environment, and also hoping to really use that information to feedback to a sustainable development idea. Currently, there are many partners, and I'm just going to mention three major players in our extended network. One is from the Harvard School of Public Health, especially the Department of Environmental Health. And then we are also, many of the efforts were led by the Center for Health and the Global Environment at the Harvard School of Public Health. And also we are constantly collaborating with Harvard Graduate School of Design. And I'm really hoping that this is a brief overview, but it gives you an idea of, there's a need for data, there's a need for research, and how can we pool the resources at a higher platform to actually allow us to do the research projects and being able to establish a strong and sustainable network to allow us to generate data continuously. And I'm hoping also this is a good segue to what's going to be presented to you next.
Thank you very much, Sophia. Let's welcome Chao Bin Zhou from Vanke Regional Office. I think you appreciate the sequence, how the presentation is being structured, that Professor Yan Chen asked the grant challenges, and then Professor Yang